Ms. Mehta, how has your experience been?
Hi, firstly, compliments to the Businessworld team. I think you've got a very interesting panel together. It's been a pleasure. It's just been introductions, but it was so inspiring to listen to Shrishti and so, eye-opening to listen to Manisha. So yeah, thank you. Thank you for putting this together. I'm a physiotherapist by education, but I was always fascinated by, healthcare and the poor healthcare systems that unfortunately our country has. Been in the healthcare space for the last 15 years. My first startup was when I was as young as Shrishti seems to be. So right out of college and trying to find a solution to a unique problem. People who were working in corporates, typical banking, investment bankers, IT professionals, continued to suffer from back and neck pains. And I realized that one patient at a time is impossible to cure the world. So we created an organization which would go into their workplaces and try to deal with their postural issues. So we did that for a few years. And I think, Manisha, had I known you then, I would have roped you in and we could have done something together for
We
these
can
people.
still do together.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
so that's that. I mean, we also had some really great clients, but then I moved to Bangalore. I joined Portia, Soumya, which is India's largest home healthcare company. Worked with them for 7 years, built several business verticals for them. I was very fortunate. I worked under the leadership of Vaibhav Tiwari and Meena Ganesh. Meena Ganesh, I think, was your keynote speaker, one of your keynote speakers for today. So I worked in her tutelage. And most recently, I've been appointed CEO of HealthCube. What we do in a nutshell is we're trying to solve for access. In our country, where 70% of the population lacks basic medical facility, diagnosis itself is so challenging and so time consuming that they often forego any kind of diagnosis until the problem is so bad that it may cost them their lives, right? So we've created this very little device. It's about as big as a set-top box. And currently we can do about 33 tests on that device, which includes all your vitals, your basic biochemistry, testing for chronic diseases like hypertension and, diabetes, so on and so forth, but also does an infectious panel. So now I'll give you an example for use case. Imagine somewhere in Jharkhand or Uttarakhand, Pahadi area, difficult to really access medical health care. Someone comes into a clinic with high fever. You could either draw blood and take 3 days to get a report, or you can use our device and in 15 minutes know whether this person with high fever and chills has malaria, dengue, or one of those diseases. Treatment can start in 15 minutes as opposed to 2.5 to 3 days, which can be life-changing, in fact, life-saving for a lot of these people. So that's really the kind of solution that we're trying to take to market. We work with private clinics. We've most recently started working with mobile vans, which go around the country. It's a great initiative by some state governments, and our unit is part of that setup. We are now working with PHCs and CHCs and a lot of CSRs. A lot of organizations are actually looking at utilizing their CSR funds to kind of bring healthcare solutions to the country, but they don't always know how to implement. So this could be one of the ways in which they bring accessibility to the masses. And then, of course, government kind of runs it in the long term. So yeah, that's what HealthCube is doing today.